This is the Hawk. Good evening. So let me begin by saying in my description below, you will find the petition for full sanctions against the South African government and to stop all foreign aid from the United States. The sanction petition is because of the South African government violating US sanction laws with assistance to Iran, the fact that they are violating the AGOA agreement, they violated human rights with this agreement. They are also voting 90% against the United States in the UN. They are assisting in terrorist training camps in South Africa, namely ISIS, Hamas, and Al Qaeda. And they're actively supporting Iran, China, and Russia against the United States. The petition description and link is in the description below. There's two donation links, one in the top of the screen on my on the YouTube page, and one in the description that you can donate money, and this money is going to go to farmers to grow food and to assist where possible with legal action against the South African government. I stated on Twitter that I would make an official announcement. Today, I'm announcing that I'm declaring war on the ANC government by any means possible. That means there should be civil unrest where civil resistance, where people do not pay their taxes. They're not classed as citizens in the country, so therefore white people in South Africa or minorities do not have rights. So therefore, why should they pay taxes to a racist government? I am declaring that we will actively ask for blockaded sanctions of South African ports and any trade with any country in the world. During this pandemic, this government has officially denied minorities food because of the color of their skin, after the United States gave them billions of rands in assistance to aid in this pandemic. Instead, the South African government deployed all their police, military, and reserves, released 15,000 prisoners, and arrested people exercising, shot people on their porches for coming outside, arrested females for walking on the beach, actually pulled a guy out of the sea that was paddling and arrested him for exercising, and it started arresting and molesting and abusing people with this money. We have not seen testing facilities installed, tents, medical assistance, nothing. In fact, they hired, at the disgust of Secretary Pompeo, Cuban doctors. And it's my belief, and I'm led to believe, that these 19 doctors all tested positive for the coronavirus. We also are aware that the South African government is assisting the Chinese government to ship their goods out of South Africa to avoid US tariffs. This is in violation of all trade agreements. Mrs. Zuma, one of the senators for South Africa, is demanding, and so is Sele, the chief of police, that no alcohol and no cigarettes be sold. And she talks about marijuana and how marijuana sticks are licked by people and sold to people because of the brown paper they're in. And she calls it Zol. Zol is a slang word for marijuana. She says that will spread the coronavirus. However, she is connected with Malema and Jacob Zuma to the Italian mafia in South Africa, who are selling tobacco on the black market for almost 1,000 rand a carton. To add insult to injury, this week, Cyril Ramaphosa has upped his game when it comes to the apartheid laws that they have installed to discriminate against white citizens, white African citizens, African-born citizens of South Africa because of the color of their skin. He is now demanding more black empowerment laws where they take businesses from white people that they have not created, that they have not tried to make their lives better. No, they are now taking it directly from white people who are trying to survive. Churches are trying to give out food to white people and are being denied. In fact, the food's being taken away. A number of ANC politicians have been found to have piles and piles of food aid in their homes. These people only think about themselves. Lena Marx, the ambassador to South Africa, who I am not pleased with, stated this week that the excess breathing apparatuses for this coronavirus will be sent to South Africa in assistance for this pandemic. However, I have a problem with this situation because we do not see centers where this government has put up any centers to do testing. In fact, the hospitals are collapsing. This government is doing everything in its power to take over the entire country, minimize all minorities in the country, and demand that only one race has any relevance in this country. And that is the Nguni tribes, black tribes from the north who were not there. And I will take you to international court. I challenge you all. Meet me in international court and prove your history. You cannot. As for Lena Marx, she is either disillusioned, illusioned, or disillusioned. Or she's trying so hard to please the ANC government, she can't see straight. I challenged Lena Marx to go to the 78-year-old lady who was on the farm that was brutally slaughtered this week. I challenged Lena Marx to go to all the white businesses in South Africa and ask them what it feels like to be abused by a black government who is doing reverse racism apartheid. In 1994, the world was greatly pleased when South Africa decided to become the rainbow nation where there is no discrimination against color, race, creed. That is not the case now. It is openly advocated by the South African politicians to abuse whites, to kill farmers. And the international community is saying nothing. 3 years ago, I stated I would bring the world, unknowing how I was going to do it. And slowly but surely, I threw one pebble into that pond at a time. And this ripple is slowly rippled more and more. And now more radio stations in the United States are talking about the situation. I need a mandate from you, the South African people. You need to sign this petition. The world is not interested in 12,000 signatures. They're interested in 1 million signatures. I need every single adult above the age of 18 to sign this petition. To those of you who believe that President Donald Trump is unaware of what's going on in South Africa, you're sorely mistaken. I can tell you this from the last interview I saw of Elena Marx. They are not giving the South African government cash anymore. That presenter kept asking, "Are you giving us cash?" She said, "No. We're giving you equipment now, and I will guarantee you that that equipment will be piled up in hospitals or sold on the black market." And it will not be going to test centers or to medical assistant places because this government is not interested. They just want money. They have stolen everything that is not tied down. They're not interested in building schools. They're not interested in repairing roads. They're not interested in doing the job. They're only interested in filling up their pockets. And they're using the white people as an excuse, and the minorities as an excuse for their theft. They have made agreements with the Chinese government to sell the resources of South Africa. And to every single citizen of South Africa, you have to realize land reform is communism. You will not own land if they pass this law. Therefore, every black person in South Africa who is hoping to get a piece of land that they promised you, you will never own that land. The government will own the land. You are just being used. Did this government promise you 26 years ago a better life? However, 26 years later, they're still blaming white people. They still come up with mass murder. In fact, if you do your own research instead of listening to lies and wanting to not listen or believe the lie, only 22,000 people died between 1948 and 1994. That is a categorical fact. The Truth Commission of the 1990s, run by Desmond Laughing Tutu, who is very quiet right now. We don't find him in the streets trying to stop the 60 murders a day, or the one woman every hour, every minute that's murdered, or child, or raped. He's very quiet now. But during that Truth Commission, 22,000 people were murdered during that period, 1948 to 1994. And that can be verified by the UN. UN stats from 2012 state since 94 to this present day, no, to 2012, 500,000 people have been murdered. In fact, 75,000 white people have been murdered, tortured, raped, and slaughtered literally for hours and hours and hours. Farmers are murdered, one a week, in brutal fashion. This is not a rainbow nation. This is a nation covered in blood. And to the ignorant people, they tell me, what have you done? We don't see no results. I say to you, get off your lazy asses. Sign the petition. Stop asking us to do what you need to do. Somebody sent me a comment the other day, and I said, Moses took the people of Israel from Egypt through the desert for 40 years, but he did not tell them to do it on their hands and knees. And they fought for 40 years to get to the promised land. You need to stand up. You need to go to that parliament and demand your equal rights as a human in that country. And I mean, do not leave until some of you are going to die. But the world's going to take notice. You need to go blockade every embassy in the country. You need to make a stand. And to all the white South Africans, unite. Stop fighting each other. Stop being traitors to one another and turning each other into the ANC. That's how they're beating you. And to any of you that think I'm not risking my life, you're a fool. I'm openly threatened by the ANC, EFF, PLF, and every one of them. I have spent 3 years of my life, spare time, trying to help you. It is now time to start throwing your pebbles in this pond. Every one of you know 10 people. Therefore, you need to get 10 people to sign this petition. This is your mandate. If I can show the United States 1 million signatures, that means that there's 1 million people that are suffering in that country. But I cannot take 12,000 signatures or 15,000 signatures. Nobody's going to look at them. That's not even 1% of the population. They're going to look the other way. What you don't know also is that every single intelligence group in the world is sitting in your backyard. To the north of you, in Mozambique, there's Boko Haram, ISIS, and the Chinese, all fighting for that region. Oil companies, corrupt government. Many of your attacks on your farms are coming from that direction and from Zimbabwe. Most of your cities are overrun by drug dealers. And you blame, and you do nothing about it. Your entire government, the ANC government, is corrupt. How come Jacob Zuma has not been arrested? How come Ace Mashula has not been arrested, or Makashula? How come Malema is not being arrested? How come every single ANC politician that is corrupt, who's had their hands in the cookie jar, is not arrested? Nothing's going to be done until they are removed. I've declared war on them. They know now I'm bringing them down, and I need everybody. I don't care if you hack their systems. I don't care if you don't pay their taxes. I don't care if you blow up their houses. I don't care what the hell you do, but you take them down. And when I say blow up their houses, I don't mean physically. You find evidence and expose them. Expose them in every way. Civil disobedience. Gandhi stood in a crowd against guns, and they beat them till they were black and blue, and he refused to move, never lifted a hand, and he broke the British government. The other day, I saw a hijacking. And they jumped out the car, and what they didn't see was the gun. And a single gunman started shooting at them, and they all ran away, all 5 of them, like chickens. This is what you're dealing with. These people are just opportunists. I find it ironic that this government let out 15,000 criminals and arrested a whole bunch of innocent people going to work, exercising, and trying to get past this monotonous nonsense with this coronavirus. South Africa, it's time to change, and I'm talking to black people included. You still living in the townships. You're still living in squatter camps. You still don't have running water. You still do not have sanitation. You still do not have nothing after 26 years. Can you do not see this? There are other black people, other colored people, other Indian people, other white people ready to help you. But you have to get rid of these Tutsis. It is time to fight for your country, or the Chinese will run this government. They're already bought and paid for now. They're selling your minerals to the Chinese. And the Chinese will force that on you with military. They're building military camps in your country to control you. You will be their slaves. You will be a communist country if you do not change this now. Do you want decent roads? Do you want schools that your children can go to safely? Do you want a job to go to every day? Do you want to stop the crime, the rape, the murders? Then you have to get rid of this cancer that's been there for 26 years. That's the only way. It is now official. By any means, you take this government down. I ain't going to do to them what they did to the nationalist government. We're going to take them to the floor with no money. If anybody in the banks know of any crooked deals that's happening, expose them. Do data dumps. Copy everything that there is and send it to me. And we'll expose it to the world. If you know of any politicians in South Africa who are doing underhanded criminal stuff, send it to me. We are going to bring this government down. And God help this government when Donald Trump is re-elected this year. Because if you think he doesn't know what's going on, you should read Twitter. Secretary Pompeo is well aware of what the South African government is doing. But to remember, when Donald Trump is re-elected this year, I feel sorry for every Democrat and every rat in this country that ever did him wrong. And every country that has threatened him, like South Africa, and Venezuela, and Iran, and North Korea. Remember, when you point a finger, there's always three looking back at you. And God help you. If you don't think I know what's going on in South Africa, you are sorely wrong. Sign that petition. Get 10 to 20 friends of yours to sign it, and have them get 20 friends to sign it. And tell all your friends in America, England, Canada, everywhere in the world to start throwing the pebbles in that pond. And the more that those ripples pull out, the more people will come. Right now, I really appreciate the fact that there's 17,000 subscribers on my channel. We did a great job. But we need more. And the more people that hear about this, the better your information will get out. My email address is in the description below. Please subscribe. Share with your friends, have them subscribe. The more people that get this information, the more the world will realize that nearly 3 million people, because of the color of their skin, are being abused again. Demand that the United States Eli Wiesel law be put into effect. Also demand that full-blown blockade sanctions are placed on South Africa for human rights violations. And for violating United States sanctions, we must no longer support this government in any way. In fact, they should be all arrested for human rights violations. This is the hope. I'm out of here. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share all to everybody in the world. They need to know what's going on in South Africa. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. To all of you out there, black and white, remember, your mother brought you into the world. During the 9 months in her body, she fed you with her body. She kept you alive till you were adult enough to eat for yourself. Honor her. And to the rest of South Africa, stop killing yourselves and stop killing one another. Because you don't realize what they're doing. They're using you to steal your country. You should have been 26 years ahead. You went 26 years backwards because of the ANC, the cancer. And you've got another cancer. It's called the EFF. This coward Malema. He needs to go too. Just another Robert Mugabe. This is the Hawk. I'm out of here. Share this video, subscribe, hit the like button, donate some money to the cause. If you've got extra money, send the money. We'll send it to the farmers. The money we make from these farms, we can assist even more people. And we need money for legal cases against this government. This is war now, by any means. If you know anything, expose them. I'm out of here. Be safe out there.